If you only listened to LA Mayor Karen Bass, you would think that Los Angeles was a thriving, family-friendly immigrant community. Earlier today, Bass announced that she's filing a lawsuit against the Trump administration for deploying DHS to her city.
Just finished working with our city attorney to file a lawsuit because we have to stop this mess. You know, the idea of having troops go through the park and disrupt the children's summer camp or drive through the streets and just pick people off the streets. We don't know if a kidnapping is happening or what. And so our city attorney is leading the way. We're filing a lawsuit. We're calling for an injunction for this to stop.
Blaze Media national correspondent Julio Rosas has a pretty different story than Karen there, and he joins us now. So Julio, take us through the differences between what you saw and what Mayor Bass was trying to describe. You know, just, her city is great, Julio. It's the problem that Trump and this DHS guys, they're all coming in and taking over our city.
Well, again, the reason why we're in this mess is because of Democrats, and it's from the border being purposefully left open to their now attempts to politically resist and also in some cases violently resist. And so I was with the National Guard and with the DHS deployment to MacArthur Park. And if anyone who knows Los Angeles knows that MacArthur Park is not a place where there should be any children playing, because it is completely filled, not just with illegal immigrants typically, but it's also filled with drugged out homeless people. There's human waste all over the park. There's drug paraphernalia, trash. It is certainly not a place that if I had any kids, I wouldn't want my children playing there. So this idea that this sweep was done to terrorize people was just simply not true. This was done as a way to show that not only is DHS going to continue their operations in the Los Angeles area, but they have the ability to do so. And it was pretty interesting to see, because this was, by all accounts, one of the largest joint interagency task force deployments that has happened in a very long time for an operation like this. And so I was interested to see, because a lot of the locals, since the riots, have been more aware, have been posting on social media through their networks whenever they see any type of operation happening. And this convoy, in the middle of the day, was able to basically reach the target objective before most people were able to realize what was going on. And of course, once the sweep started to happen, then people started to come out a little bit more in full force. And then the mayor showed up shortly thereafter. So I think this was important to see through, because yeah, you're right. I mean, this is Los Angeles is a city that was once great. It's not. It hasn't been for a long time. It's because of Democratic policy, and this is this is there are a lot of illegal immigrants in the not just the city but the county as well. So this really was to show everyone from Mayor Bass all the way up to Gavin Newsom that the federal government isn't going anywhere, and that they're going to carry out the mandate that President Trump was given with this recent election.
So I have to break in with a story, my own MacArthur Park story from many years ago. The statute of limitations is long gone, so everyone's fine. Everyone will be fine. But I was with some friends, and these bad hooligans I was running with wanted to get fake IDs.
They did.
They did. Yes.
Definitely them.
These girls, really,
Yeah.
they wanted a fake
Terrible.
ID. So anyway, you drive near MacArthur Park, and there was a place back then. You know, they'd kind of wave you down, like, "What do you need?" And they see the white kids in the car. They knew what they were there for, and they had it set up so you really didn't have to park, or you parked, briefly right by these locations. Anyway, foolishly, myself and a friend didn't park near the location where this activity was going on. Instead, we parked like on the other side of the park. We had to walk across the park, and it took about 5 seconds before we were followed by many young gentlemen who used very offensive racial slurs against me and my friend, and we were happy to make it all the way across the park without getting mugged or being assaulted, and get the hell out of there. But I mean, the idea that this place, which has been bad for a long time, has the children there. It's like, what is she even talking about? No one in Los Angeles is going to even believe her words. But it leaves this question of, people watching, I mean, how many people watching are thinking, wait a minute, we could just send law enforcement in there and clean it up, right? I mean, I was just hearing from one of our producers, there's a long-time business that's been there for years. They have to use security to escort people in and outside the business.
They're just trying to get a pastrami sandwich, Julio. That's it. That's all they're trying to do.
or jewelry in this case. I mean, the problem is that this sort of puts the lie to the whole narrative that Bass has about her entire city. Don't you think the optics are not in her favor?
No, but this is all that she can do, really, thankfully, because, I mean, obviously, if it was up to her, the raids would stop and the National Guard would be sent home. But again, the whole reason why that this is necessary is because the local population completely flipped out over legal immigration enforcement operations. And so, I mean, I was in Los Angeles for the 4th of July because there were protests planned, and that kind of got a little out of control outside the federal building downtown. So, I mean, things are still happening there where people are still trying their best to actively interfere. We've gone past people just simply filming the Border Patrol agents or ICE agents doing their thing. And it's concerning because we've now seen not just the rhetoric against them become more unhinged, but people are acting on that. I mean, we had 2 incidents in Texas just over the past week. Just the other day, just yesterday, the Border Patrol chief for the El Centro sector, he said that people were trying to puncture their tires, and they had to be. Thankfully, they were arrested for that. So nationally, the country is becoming a powder keg over this, and really what happens in Los Angeles will be telling what other people are going to do in other areas. And so obviously it's not just isolated to Los Angeles, but Portland, Seattle, other areas as well. But again, this should not be a surprise to anybody that President Trump, especially now that he has that one big beautiful bill becoming law, this is just the beginning. I mean, people voted for this. People voted for mass deportations. They may not like the optics of it, but again, the reason why we're in this position in the first place, the reason why mass deportations became popular is because Biden opened the border for 4 years. And this is the consequences of that, of people wanting to undo that damage. And yeah, even though there's been some roadblocks thrown up in Trump's way, ultimately, I think it's going to be seen through. And as I said before, I think it will be seen through, but we're going to have to buckle up because this is going to be a very, very rough road ahead of us.
So it's DHS and DOD officials. You said earlier that they reached their target objective fairly early on. So how much of that can you share with us? What were they out there actually trying to accomplish?
So, I mean, it was a sweep, right? I mean, this place historically does have illegal immigrants with whether they're street vendors or this is typically MS-13 territory, at least historically. And so this was a big show of force that again the Trump administration wanted to show, not just to the criminal elements that are there, but again to the sanctuary cities across the country. It doesn't matter what they're going to post on social media in terms of their protesting, right? They are going to carry out the mission, and that's why it was kind of funny when Bass showed up and she demanded, Karen Bass demanded to see the manager of the operation. She had the phone call with Chief Bovino, and she asked him, "When are you leaving? When are you leaving?" And he told her when the mission is done. And when the mission was done, once the sweep was done, and okay, it was time to go. That's when the convoy left. But that doesn't mean that they're going to leave the area entirely. And operations are still happening. And even when that large task force was in MacArthur Park, there were still other congruent operations, immigration enforcement operations by Border Patrol, by ICE, by HSI, that were happening in Los Angeles County, and other arrests were made that day. So it wasn't just MacArthur Park. But this was, again, I think at the end of the day, this was to show the illegal immigrants as well that the Trump administration is serious about this. They're not going to back down from it. And I know that there's kind of a debate over farm workers and other things like that. But I think that large show of force might help further incentivize people who are here illegally to self-deport, which I think was ultimately one of the other objectives.
Well, I still can't believe it, but if I'm to believe my friends on the internet, the traffic, I have to see it for myself, is going down possibly on account of this. I don't know about that. I'll believe it when I see it. It seems almost too good to believe. But you see these pictures, right, of the freeway during rush hour, and there's not traffic because supposedly people are afraid to go out. But whether that's true or not, what the point that I'm interested in is whether people like Angelenos watching this, what the response will be. Because on the one hand, right, we know there's some very serious criminal elements and really terrorists who are going to oppose the federal government and, states' rights style, 1850s style, right, go after the feds. And that's increasing, as you point out. On the other hand, there's got to be a lot of regular people going, wait a minute, it's possible to enforce our laws? We could just clean up MacArthur Park. I mean, that's possible. Do you get any sense of that with people in terms of reactions of people in California?
I mean, Chief Bovino, he said he wasn't where we were at MacArthur Park. He was in another part of that area. But he said that there were a number of people who did come up to him and say, "Hey, thank you for being here," because as Matt, as you said, the issue of MacArthur Park has lasted for a very, very long time, and people have constantly demanded change and demanded that things get better, and obviously that has not happened. So I think as much as there are people who are upset that this is happening, there were people, even responding to the video who are Angelenos who said that this was good. It is finally that there was a show of force in that particular park, just because, nothing has changed. I mean, without exaggeration, on top of one of the entrances, and they had the ledge that's at my shoulder height. There was human waste just sitting right on top of it. It wasn't even on the sidewalk. It was right. And so I don't know why people can say, well, I mean, Eric Swalwell today or yesterday said that MacArthur Park is where families have picnics, and it's this basically nice park inside of this great city. One, he doesn't even represent the area. His district is far from that. So I would be shocked if he's even been there. But this is what the Trump administration is up against, right? In terms of the information war, they unsurprisingly, Democrats are willing to just contort themselves in all these lies to try to push this narrative that this was an invasion by federal forces. But no, I think, people can see, things can get better if we do certain things. And of course, Los Angeles, I mean, even downtown, I've been in downtown a lot recently. It looks like a third world country. There's graffiti, there's trash, there's closed up businesses everywhere. I don't know how people are able to make a living, because it's just not what you would think a world-class city would look like in the United States, in a first world country. So I think that, maybe, that's not to say California's going to flip red, but I think once people kind of see after 2-3 years of this and kind of clearing out the illegal immigrant population, that people will see increases of standards of living that they probably wouldn't have thought of, like, for example, traffic. I will say, as someone who's visited Los Angeles frequently since 2018, I think I haven't seen that, little traffic during the day in a very long time. Probably not since COVID. Not since the beginning of COVID in 2020. So that was pretty interesting. I would say that whole traffic thing, it is true to a certain extent. Obviously, during rush hour, it's a little bit more. But from the Valley all the way down to let's say Long Beach, instead of it taking 2 hours, it's starting to take maybe an hour and a half or an hour and 20 minutes. Which, I mean, that is a big deal, especially if you commute long distances every day.
A win is a win, and we're going to take it. But Julio, you paint such a lovely picture. I'll say better you than me. And at least if we don't have all the riots for you, we can go through and have some mass deportations to keep you busy. Great stuff. Thanks so much, Julio.
Thanks.